We're set to go. We're recording. We're live on Facebook. We are like, Chuck's here and Rachel and Dean are here. So Chuck, take it away. And
So I want to introduce Dean and Rachel Monoxalis. I'm not going to steal any of their thunder. They have an amazing story, and they're going to share their journey so far, and they're still going. So it's absolutely incredible. Dean and Rachel, take it away.
Oh, I didn't know we were being put on the spot here, Chuck. I thought this was your show.
Oh,
Well, it's funny. We've been, chasing our, as a lot of us, I'm sure, have been, through our entire lives, have been chasing our weight or our health, if you will, since I was a teenager. Always weight fluctuating up and down. And, we've always eaten healthy. It's not like we've eaten junk food or anything like that. It's just our eating habits. And, myself personally, I'm a musician. So, it wasn't uncommon for me to get out of a show at 3 o'clock in the morning and then eat and then drive home and then go to sleep. And so anyways, long story short, my brother, who has been on Optavia for a while, he's actually the one that put me in touch with Chuck. And, my wife and I, Rachel, we were looking at doing this, and we kept on putting it off. So finally we said, you know what, let's do this. And this was like right as the pandemic was starting. And at that point, obviously, I, like a lot of people, when the pandemic first started, it was like, all right, we're going to eat everything in the house, and we're weekly trips to the liquor store, and it was just one of those pandemic things, I guess. But we wanted to do something healthy. We didn't want to let this control us, and so we called Chuck, and we got on the program. We're still doing the 5 and 1. This is, when did we start? Last May?
mid-May.
May 11th.
The
Monday after Mother's Day.
Okay. And I got to say, it's a lot easier. I shouldn't say it's a lot easier. It is, but it is. It's easier that we're both on the program. I think if I was on the program and she wasn't, or if she was on the program and I wasn't, it'd be a lot more difficult. And then on top of this, our 24-year-old daughter, Samantha, who lives with us, I think like a month after we got on the program, she got on the program. So, the three of us are now on the same program. Our youngest daughter, Nicole, I joke with her, she's built like a telephone pole, and she's an athlete. So she doesn't need to be on this program at this point. But yeah, it's just been, we figured, all right, we went into this thing thinking, oh, if I lose, I think my original goal was like 50 pounds.
Yeah.
Was that what it was, Chuck?
Yeah, it was about 50.
And so I started at 314 pounds. And I figured, well, if I lose 50 pounds, that'll be great. And I don't know, within the first few months, I just saw the weight coming down. Next thing you know, I hit 50 pounds. It was like, all right, well, let's see if we can do 75 pounds, and again, all right, 75 pounds, coming down. And now I'm like, I'm 92 pounds down, and I'm knocking on 100. I'm going to see if I can do 100. So that's my story. I'll let Rachel tell her story.
My story's similar, except for men definitely lose weight a lot faster than women. He says no, it's proof. So I'm 64 pounds down. So I still have ways to go. I still have probably another 20 pounds before I'm where I want to be. But I figure before May 11th of 2021, I'll hit that extra pounds and we'll be good. And then our daughter Samantha, she's down 57, 59?
Yeah.
59 pounds, I think.
Yep.
Oh yeah, she looks like a whole completely different person as well. So we've lost a total of at least a body and then some.
Yeah, that's over 210 pounds.
Yes.
The
we've-
three of you.
Chuck, can you show their picture?
I
Share,
can.
yeah, share screen.
Yes. Yes.
And
Bob.
Samantha, Sam, she's awesome. I love her. I just
Yeah,
have to say,
she's
I
doing
love
good.
her.
She's doing really good.
Hang on.
Yep.
There we go.
So that's when we started. I was 314 at that point, and yeah,
Yeah, I was 250 pounds there.
we've done. I've only done one clothes shopping trip so far, and even now, like the clothes, the jeans that we bought are a little too big. She won't go clothes shopping until she's
Not
at her
yet.
goal weight.
Not
But
yet. I was wearing size 24s and now I'm in 14s.
That's awesome.
yeah, and we've been tracking our measurements too. Or I should say we should.
I have a grid.
Rachel's been tracking our measurements, and it was like every few weeks we would, we'd measure our arms, our chest, and I forget what's our total measurements down.
I think I'm 39 inches down.
Yeah.
You're 37 and Sam's roughly about 34, 33.
Yeah.
We're all well over 30 inches down.
So the program works. There's absolutely no question about it. Obviously, keeping in touch with Chuck, for the first couple of weeks, we were talking to him almost just about
boy.
every night, actually. And then, as we got further and further into the 5-in-1, it was like, okay, we got this. And, he'd get the occasional text or email like, hey, Chuck, can we eat this? And we got the yay or the nay. The big question was, hey, Chuck, how about bourbon? Can I have bourbon on this? He was like, you're not supposed to. But we have, so we do. So we're not quite a year into this, and I know that, I don't know, is being on the 5-in-1 as long as we have, is that uncommon for a lot of people? Because I mean, we've been on it now for 9 months, 8 months.
8 months.
Yeah, I see John Provinis shaking his head. No, it's not uncommon because he dropped 100 pounds in 11 months.
Okay.
About a year and a half, 2 years ago, and he's kept it all off. So,
and it's
well done, JP.
Yeah, it's not it's not like we're starving or we don't feel we're depriving ourselves being on the 5-in-1. We do have those, cheat days or those cheat weekends where, rough week at work, I will have a shot of whiskey, or if I hit a goal, I'll say, all right, I'm going to treat myself to a good bourbon, or she'll treat herself to a margarita, and but then we're right back on it the following Monday.
Yeah.
So it works. The program definitely works, and
you guys are awesome.
Yes, thank you
You are
very much.
awesome. So high fives to all of you and your family, and Sam. Tell Sam I say hi.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Chuck is going to continue on now.
I am, and I'm going to challenge Dino to talk to his brothers because I'm coaching his 3 brothers. So we'll get more testimonials from his family soon.
Absolutely. As soon as I can get a hold of him, I'll get him on this. Thank you.
You're welcome. So tonight's topic is about creating optimal well-being, and I put the references in here so folks know where the material's from, and if you want, when you want to do your follow-ups with it. But I'm a strong believer in the Your Life book and the elements, and I have gone through them all. And the Dr. A's element around creating optimal well-being and the chapter on that really resonated with me right now. And I wanted to share some of this with you and what his takeaways are, what my takeaways from his story is, and why this is so relevant to me on my journey, because we are all on a journey. So, he starts off really talking about what really matters to you. And this is an incredibly important question. We kind of overlook it and we just go through the motions sometimes, and we're doing our jobs and we're doing our work, and we're doing some fun things here and there. But are you really focused on what really matters to you? And you actually have to stop and take a breath and step back and ask yourself, So he references some very interesting studies where they talk to some older folks. And I found a picture of Mitzi and Stu, so that I thought I would, oh, sorry, Mitzi, having fun. And, you really have to pay attention to the big picture. Optavia and other groups I'm a member of, I'm on a board. We all talk about big rocks. Did you fill your jar with the big rocks first? And some other folks have done presentations on this here. You really need to keep focused on the big rocks. And I've got a little sticky on my monitor that says big rocks, productivity and focus versus being busy. And I look every day and I'm like, what are my big rocks for today? What are my big rocks for the week? Don't get caught up in all the little minutia. Focus on the things that really matter. So it's by the day, by the week, by the year. And he went through interviewing, or the study he referenced, interviewed hundreds of folks that were toward the latter years of their lives. And he said, if you could do things over, what would you do different? And it came down to 3 key themes. Pay attention to the big picture, take more risks and do things that are meaningful, have courage to be a better friend, leave a legacy and make more of a difference. And, I was reading through this toward the end of last year, and it really it struck me. And the mechanics of it go back to your why. We talk about the why in the first few elements. We talk about the why on the health assessment. We talk about the why all the time, and reassessing that. When your coach works with you, we talk about, well, let's go back to what your motivation was and what your why is. And it really is tied to what your goals are, what your priorities are, and what better time to do that than the end of the year, beginning of the year. I look at my goals every year, and I've got a journal of them. It's like, well, that's what I said in 2017. Which ones did I do? Now, I might have done them. Well, but what's the next instantiation of those, right? How do I take that thing to the next level? And you continue to refine and tune them. So use your life book. Talk with your coach about it. It makes such a big difference. And when you step back and when you ask why and ask why again, and really get deep into what is really important and really do I understand it, that's when it really starts to make a difference. So the big thing here is the interrelationship between fulfillment and success. And in a nutshell, success are all those extrinsic measures where fulfillment are really intrinsically driven. They come from within. And, the external ones are, what's my attractiveness and do people like me and how do others see me? And am I popular? And do I have stuff? Am I rich? Do I have a good job? What's my title? What's my salary? All that externally driven extrinsic values that people call success. But in and of itself, that doesn't really relate one-to-one to, are you really fulfilled? And therefore, are you really truly happy? And fulfillment, I think, is much more significant. If you're fulfilled, I think you are successful. If you're successful, you may not be fulfilled. And when you start to think about things, the world in terms of what really matters from inside out, it really takes on a very different meaning. So, well, how are my relationships? How am I growing? What am I doing around my personal development? What are you doing around contributions in your community and whatever your community means to you, whether it's a health community, whether it's your local community and charities and other things. But how are you making a difference in the world and leaving a lasting impact? And all of those things are really so much more significant. And if we dive in a little more on the fulfillment, it's really about what matters to you in life. And when you sit down and you go back to that, that first slide, what really matters to me and what do I really want to achieve and accomplish? Then you start to say, okay, great. What meaning and purpose do I have? How should I fill my days with those big rocks? Am I really sharing this with others, et cetera? And that's what really gives you meaning to life. and the kind of the legacy that you might leave. And what's really important in guiding you in your sense of satisfaction and joy, right? Don't be afraid, write your story and then rewrite your story. And you do that and we've talked about vision boards, we've talked about journaling. They're all good mechanisms to do that. It's not just one of them, but it's really sitting, reflecting, finding that open space, thinking about what's important, writing your story. What do you envision your story to be next? And don't hold back on limitations. Go for it. Be brave, be bold. So with that all said, I'm going to share a little bit about my journey and why this matters. So over 3 years ago, my wife and I decided, we were just getting out of control. So in very, very short story, in 2.5 months, we had dropped like 30 pounds. And in 4 months, we dropped 40. And we've kept it off for 3 years now. And about a month in, some friends of ours that went on our trip to Italy with us said, hey, can you help us? And I said, I called Mitzi and I said, hey, I have 2 more victims for you. And she said, well, why don't you coach them? And believe it or not, I wasn't working. I had walked away from my executive IT job. And I said, I'm just going to figure out where I'm going in life. And I set my goals out. And I was going to coach leadership and technology. And then she said, why don't you coach health? So I started doing that. And within a few months, I got to executive director and I was loving it. Then I got called by some folks in the tech industry who said, come back and do a consulting gig. And I got sucked in. I did a consulting gig. And then the CEO said, I'm hiring you as the VP of IT. And I said, oh, okay. So I'm helping people best I can, and it's going great. And then my wife and sister-in-law and I said, there's more to life. Let's create a wellness center. And we actually took a year to buy property, build a wellness center, and we opened in June in the middle of a pandemic. And it's flourishing. It's going great. It's all about community, and it's about inclusion, and it's all about giving back. We've done 3 charity events, raised $6,000 for 3 different charities, and it's just an amazing energy and an amazing atmosphere. So in December, I left my VP of IT job to focus on health coaching and running the wellness center with my wife and sister-in-law. And that's a bold, brave move to walk away from 6-figure salary to say, I'm going to help people get healthier. That's what I'm passionate about. And that's why this fulfillment resonated with me more than success. So Dr. A talks about the well-being chart. And, are you really fulfilled? Do you have success? Failure and depression? And I recommend you go through this chart in this book and really figure out where are you on this spectrum, and then how do you want to move to the right, and how do you want to move up on the chart? How do you want to achieve the thriving life, and what do you need to do to have that, right? Again, you can be very successful but worn out and burned out. You don't want to be there. So how do you get here? And then last but not least, he gives several tips. Be passionate about what you do. Follow that passion, right? Who do you want to do that with? Who do you want in your community, right? We have our like-minded, healthy people, and most of us have drifted toward more and more of those kinds of people. It naturally happens, and it's wonderful. It doesn't mean you leave someone else behind, but you end up focusing your time on with others that are passionate about the same things you're passionate about. Have your romances, hobbies and arts. And I became a board member for a $5 million nonprofit a few years ago. And we're educating 17,000 kids in music and the performing arts, and mostly with inner city kids. And I realized I was getting more leadership development with that group and with Optavia and the coaching community than I was in my IT job in the corporate world. So now everything I do is because I want to do it, not because I have to do it. I challenge all of you to be bold. Think about what really matters to you and how can you make those things happen. And know that there are others around that will help you and support you in achieving those goals. And I couldn't do this if it wasn't for my wife and my sister-in-law and Mitzi and others that have really helped me and guided me along the way. So I couldn't be more grateful. And to the folks that are my clients that, that say thank you. I got a really nice note from a doctor saying thank you for transforming my mom's life and her health and her wellness. My CEO never wrote a note to me like that before. You just don't get that. So it's an amazing opportunity when you step back and think about what really matters to you. And I've been my wife and I have been saying this for many years. Do what you love what you do. And it really, that's where fulfillment really comes into play. So that's the end.
That was awesome, Chuck. So I'm crying again today. I guess it's a daily thing now, having happy tears. I'm so happy for you right now. I'm so happy for you right now in your life right now. I can't even tell you. And I'm so proud of who you are. And I'm so blessed that you and I have been friends for over 22 years now.
Keep going.
23, whatever. So anyway, does anyone have any comments or?
I just want to say, Chuck, I've seen you on these Zooms all the time, and I did not know that story, and it's freaking amazing. It's just what a journey you've had, and I just feel like I know you a lot better, Chuck, now.
Thank you, Peggy.
Hi, I have a few words to say. I'm the sister-in-law.
Can we stop you, Gail? I don't think so.
And he's as amazing as he sounds. It's been quite a journey, and to watch it, and he's helped me, and it's just been great. And again, tears here too, Mitzi. So proud, so happy for where he is, and that he's a part of Moon River Wellness, which is, like he said, is doing fantastic, and he's a big part of it. And this model fits in perfect. So kudos, Chuck.
Yeah, I'm coaching 2 yoga instructors and several of the members. And all I did was put JP's picture in the front lobby, and people are like, "Who's that guy?"
Scared half of them away.
So, no, we just share and we just offer. If people are interested, they ask. If not, that's okay. Again, everybody's on their own journey. I've had people call me 10 months later. They'll talk to me and then call 10 months later. That's normal. That's okay.
Does anyone else have any comments, thoughts, questions? So we'll put this on the new YouTube channel. Notice how there are more than 25 squares on this page. So it'll be on the YouTube channel. So subscribe to it. And then the Habits of Health call is next at 8:30. And Chuck, it's great. Dean and Rachel, Dean and the boss. Awesome. You guys are rocking it. Totally. It's such a difference from the first time we met. So, and that's it. Anything else from anybody?
Just thank you, Chuck, everybody.
No, thank you all. It really is about community. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chuck. Thank you
Chuck.
for everything you've done for Rachel and I.
Beautiful story, Chuck.
We'll see you next week.
All right, everybody have a
Thank
good week.
you.